These are the developers and publishers setting a good example of how a business should run, at least from a PR perspective. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 times game developers were nice for a change. For more gaming videos, check out our new spin-off channel, Mojo Plays, for in-depth reviews, thoughtful video essays, detailed character origins, and insightful commentary. Mojo Plays, games smarter. For this list, we're looking at some of the moments where game developers show that they care more about the customer than establishing greedy business practices. That isn't to say that developers that aren't included on this list are terrible, or that these developers aren't guilty of other shady business practices. We're simply recognizing moments where developers and publishers made business moves that display a player-first attitude. Number 10, Mass Effect Extended Cut Ending DLC, BioWare.
What? Where am I?
The Citadel. It's my home.
Mass Effect 3 was a great game, but that ending could have been a lot better. We weren't the only ones who were disappointed though, as thousands of fans expressed their, well, disappointment to put it gently. Instead of choosing to shy away from the issue or tell fans it's better than nothing, BioWare released an extended cut of the ending. Oh, and it didn't cost players a cent. An easy way a developer could have solved this was to announce a sequel or let fans stay angry, but BioWare took a more proactive approach.
We can face them together.
Number 9, handing Sonic to a new developer, Sega. Look, lots of people love Sonic the Hedgehog and all, but since he made the transition from 2D side-scrolling to 3D auto-running, most of his games have been kind of bad. It was a pretty bold move then for Sega to hand the license over to a completely different developer for Sonic Mania, but the results speak for themselves. The most interesting part was that the team was composed of people who had made Sonic fan games and ROM hacks. But Sega's open-mindedness paid off, and Sonic Mania became one of the best games of 2017, and probably the best Sonic game we've seen in years. Now, who here is excited for Sonic Mania Plus? Number 8, Community First, Psyonix. Rocket League is a couple of years old by now, but it still remains one of the best competitive games to play, with developer Psyonix continuously adding new game modes, arenas, and cars to customize. Many players can't help coming back again and again. Most players would run at the sight of a microtransaction system, but Psyonix utilizes one that technically helps the community. Purchases made on crate keys are being used to fund community events and tournaments rather than putting all of that money into the studio's pockets. It's nice knowing that the money players spend on keys for cosmetic items is being used to lengthen Rocket League's lifespan. Number 7, approving a fan game for Steam, Valve Corporation.
Ah, Gordon, here you are. We just sent the sample down to the test chamber.
We've boosted the anti-mass spectrometer to 105%.
Some of you might know where we're going with this. I mean, much has been said about Half-Life 3 and how we're probably never going to see it. Luckily, we still have Half-Life 1 and 2, though the first game in the series is pretty darn dated by today's standards. Well, leave it up to the development team known as Crowbar Collective to fix that, creating a remake of Half-Life called Black Mesa. Of course, this could have led the team into legal trouble, but shockingly, Valve actually allowed the remake to be published on Steam. No strings attached. Well, bravo Valve. That is an awesome thing to do, especially considering you're already ludicrously rich.
It's not shutting down!
Number 6, solving microtransactions in Warframe, Digital Extremes. For a long time, Warframe was plagued with a problem regarding limited time items and microtransactions. Basically, the items that were once limited time only were being repackaged into overpriced bundles. Thankfully, developer Digital Extremes addressed the issue back in February of 2018, running a live stream to discuss the problem and ask players for a solution. A developer asking players how they want DLC to be packaged and priced, inviting the community to reform that system with them? Now that's really something you don't see that often. This is a prime example of player choice, not loot boxes.
Just saying, if you're new to Warframe and you're tuning in and you're seeing stuff that looks unpolished, this is how we do. We show you what we're working on.
Number 5, free Titanfall 2 DLC, Respawn Entertainment. Titanfall 2 delivered on the promise of the original and then some. Not only were we given an exhilarating single-player campaign, but all of the major DLC for multiplayer was free. The only DLC you have to pay extra for are war paints and a few different chassis designs. For once, we got a $60 game that actually felt worth the value. New game modes were added, more Titans to kick ass with, and more executions to humiliate our opponents were keeping us busy. We just hope Titanfall 3 sells a bit better.
Pilot, this situation could use your skills.
I hope you're up for another trip to hell, Cooper.
Number 4, Doom version 6.66, id Software and Bethesda Softworks. "2016's Doom was one of the best games of the year and a major comeback for the franchise. On top of that, the DLC added some extra goodies to a game already packed with content. More multiplayer maps, extra game modes, more weapons, and more snap map assets to play with. What we weren't expecting was that a little over a year after release, Bethesda announced a final update, version 6.66. How appropriate. This update would make the DLC free to anyone who bought the game. Plus, the game's price was cut in half. Whoa, $30 for all that? They really wanted people to be playing this. Number 3, Shunning loot boxes, Capcom.
It got loose.
Amidst all the hype for Monster Hunter World, there were a few concerns about the game regarding certain game companies recently pushing sleazy marketing mechanics like loot boxes. When asked by GameSpot about loot boxes in Monster Hunter World, series producer Ryozo Tsujimoto stated that the game already has a system like loot boxes. He's not wrong either, as the monsters drop random items of stuff we want or already have, which is something he also brought up. He added, "You've already kind of got loot as a core gameplay aspect without having to shove a microtransaction version of it in. You're preaching to the choir, buddy, and we love it. Don't change, please." Number 2, free expansions for Shovel Knight, Yacht Club Games. Shovel Knight is not an expensive game. For a title that's less than $20, you could easily lose hours playing it, finding secrets, battling the Order of No Quarter, and popping those difficult in-game achievements and trophies. So, it caught a lot of people by surprise when developer Yacht Club Games announced that Shovel Knight would be getting a hearty helping of DLC. Furthermore, all owners of the original game would get all DLC for free, before the game was rebranded as Shovel Knight Treasure Trove. Shovel Knight was practically perfect already, so Yacht Club had no reason to make any free full-length expansions, but we are not complaining. This is like having an extra steak with your steak. Number 1, refunds for Paragon, Epic Games. It's tough out there for MOBAs. One second they're the new kid on the block, the next Battle Royale games are taking over the world. Epic Games' other title, Paragon, has suffered from Fortnite's success, you see, as well as the continued popularity of other MOBA games. This led to Epic Games announcing the shutdown of Paragon's servers. They could have left things at that, because many companies shut down their games, but the company went a step further, offering refunds to those who had spent money on the game. Players could even get that refund in the form of V-Bucks, Fortnite's premium currency, allowing them to buy battle passes and maybe a few cosmetic goodies. Okay, that's not necessarily the nicest thing, that's a bit scummy, but anyway, let's keep going. They also released $12 million worth of assets to the Unreal Engine marketplace, completely for free. Paragon may have been fun while it lasted, and Epic Games was nice enough to put it down gently. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.